How do you start selling on Etsy? What do you need to start selling on Etsy? How do you even begin the process of creating a business? Today, I'm going over a step-by-step walkthrough and what I will say a talk-through guide, basically giving you the details and all that you need to know as far as starting your first Etsy shop. There's so many questions related to all of the things, and today I'm going to hopefully answer all of those and more. There's a lot of I don't know what I don't know when it comes to business, where you really don't know what you should be doing or what you shouldn't be doing. So hopefully this video finds those of you who need a complete Etsy shop beginner's guide, step-by-step walkthrough on how to set up shop. What do you need beforehand? We're gonna get straight into this video. So if this is your first time on my channel, my name is Heather. I am a top 1% Etsy seller, and I have started a print-on-demand business with basically zero sales. I started with no business background. I actually worked in healthcare before I even ever went into the world of Etsy and selling with print-on-demand. If you have not heard of print-on-demand before, print-on-demand is a business model where you are essentially the designer, the product creator, the research developer. You still create the products. It's just you are using a fulfillment service, which is print on demand, where once you create the designs, you select the product, and let's say a customer orders your product on Etsy, that order will automatically route to your print on demand provider if you have the settings set up correctly. I have a whole print on demand crash course, links in the description below. I recommend watching after this if this is something that interests you. But basically, once that customer orders, that is when you are charged as the seller. So there is no upfront inventory costs. To be fully transparent, I started my business with $20 to $50 in investment into my print-on-demand business. Within my first year doing print-on-demand and Etsy, I was able to scale from 0 to 250K, which was a gross take-home profit of 100K in my Etsy and print-on-demand business. I quit my full-time job after that year that I realized, oh my gosh, I'm making more than my full-time job with this business model. Outside of that, I've had so many previous subscribers, students, and clients who have hit six figures in their own businesses. They have hit five-figure months with this Etsy and print-on-demand business model. Print-on-demand is honestly one of my favorite business models because it is the lowest risk and lowest investment that you can start up with as an Etsy business owner. So I highly recommend it to a lot of new people who don't know how serious they may be, or maybe you do know you're serious, but you don't have that large of an investment for a new business. With that being said, the first thing that you want to do with your Etsy business is figure out what you want to sell on Etsy. This does not have to be a concrete plan or idea yet. This is just figuring out what market maybe you're going into. Maybe I really like the idea of designing for mom t-shirts, and I would go to Etsy and see if those ideas and those product types and those listings are selling on Etsy. Then once you confirm that they are definitely selling, which there's so many different product types, there's so many different niches. So if you are new to my channel, I say niche a lot. So an example of a niche is the pet lover niche. This is a specific group of individuals who absolutely love dogs. Maybe they love animals. They love their pets that they have. And the reason why niches are so vital to you starting when you're on Etsy and recognizing niches for what they are on Etsy is because that is where you're going to find the highest amounts of search volume. Usually there's lower competition the more niched down you go. So niching down is basically finding niches that are narrower than the pet lover niche. So an example of this is cat lover. If you want to get a little bit more specific, maybe Persian cat mom, Persian cat dad. This is going to really narrow you down in competition. It's going to increase your searchability on Etsy. Also, searchability is a word I've probably heard before, but for the sake of this video, I'm making up for now, which is just higher search volumes per the niches that you're in. And we will go into the second stage of starting your Etsy business, which is creating a name. So once you create a name, you can change your name 3 times on Etsy. So let's say you create a name right now and you're like, man, why did I create this name? This is not the way I want to go in my business. That is completely okay. Again, nothing is concrete or that concrete at this stage. It's just creating those ideas, getting things going in your business and starting on Etsy. This is the most important thing thing is just getting started and getting over the hump of, okay, I have an idea, I have a shop name, now what next? Let's say you're stumped. You're like, oh man, you know what? I want to start a business, but I don't know what name. And maybe it's plaguing you to the point that you have not even started your business because you don't know what to name it. Now, I want you to try to overcome this time and place in your life where you're so hyper focused on the shop name that you're not starting your business. So instead of hyper focusing on the shop name, you can use a random name generator tool. You can always choose random words and put them together and put shop at the end. So the next step in this process of creating your shop name is looking for the shop name as a trademarked word. So you want to make sure that this name is not taken already and that you're okay to use it in your Etsy shop. So one way to check a trademark is going on uspto.gov's website using their TESS trademark system. You can enter in the name that you are looking to use, and then you can click on live as a filter and exact phrase only, and then you will click on search, and this will bring you to if there is any names associated. So if TESS comes up with no names underneath that, you're generally good. So I do want to preface and state during this video, I am not a legal or tax professional by any means. These are just based on my own experiences with uspto.gov and how I've searched trademarks for my names I have chosen in the past, and what I would suggest to those of you watching to do immediately once you begin on Etsy. Just a pro tip as you start off. So the third stage in opening up your Etsy shop is figuring out what type of business you are creating. I do live in the United States, so what I'm sharing right now is primarily based for US citizens. There are so many free business mentorship groups, and there are plenty of free resources for business help. If you don't have the money to seek out consult from a lawyer or some type of legal professional, I would highly recommend joining some sort of free business mentorship group, maybe locally. So when I began my Etsy business, I wanted to open up a business checking and a business credit card and also a business savings account. I had to file a assumed business name document. So this is basically just claiming the name for my business in my county. So after I filed that assumed business name document, I received a printed version that was what I sent to my bank. And my bank then approved me for a business checking, credit card, and savings account. Now, generally speaking, assumed business name is the first thing that you usually need for most major banks to accept you to get your own business banking accounts, if that is what you're looking to do and how you want to fund your business. I do want to share my mistake when I first began, which was I charged everything underneath my personal banking account. And I wish I didn't do this because this made my taxes really messy. And again, this is based on my experience. What I would have recommended and told my past self is to open up a business checking account right away and fund it with a few $100s. And I know at the beginning of this video, I said with print on demand, investment is $50 to $100. But if you really want to take this seriously, please put a few $100s into your checking account at the very least for a new business checking account. That is what I would recommend. So you have some funds once you start getting some purchases coming through, or if you need to pay for new mock-up images. Again, that is why I recommend a few $100s if you wanted to open up a business checking account. You can also apply for a business credit card and just use credit. That is kind of what I did. Once I really started getting sales in my Etsy and print on demand business, I purchased everything with my credit card. I paid it off once the Etsy deposits came in. Usually that's a few days after you get paid by the customer. Generally speaking, when you start off, Etsy puts a lot of accounts on payment reserve where they hold the payment until your item is shipped out to the customer and fulfilled by your print on demand provider. Or if you're a handmade business, if you fulfill the product and you ship it out, then the funds will be released and sent to your bank when you set your Etsy deposits. For me, I set my Etsy deposit for every week. So once the deposit comes in, I pay off my credit card. Again, this is all on my business account. Now that you have your business account set up, let's say you're at this step where you at least got assumed business name document, you started your business, you have your business checking, credit, and savings account. Now, one thing I did want to give as a pro tip that was told to me by tax professionals. When I started my business, they set aside 30% for taxes. There will be federal taxes you will have to pay and also state taxes. Again, this is based on US only. I cannot speak for other countries, but this is what I personally set aside with all of the profit that I got. So there are so many ways that you can set up your business legally, and this has a lot to do with how you will be taxed at the end of the year in your business. So once you open up an Etsy shop, you start out as technically a sole proprietorship. What sole proprietorship is basically you are the owner of your company and you get taxed a certain rate due to that you are a sole proprietorship. Now, there is a second way to set up your business, which you can file for an LLC, which is a limited liability company. And this is something that can protect your assets, so your business assets from your personal assets. And again, disclaimer, I have to disclaim it 10 times in this video, but I am not a legal professional and I would ask what are the benefits of an LLC, and you can also find it on Google everywhere. So basically, I decided to elect an S Corp election, and the reason why was because it was recommended to me by my legal and tax professionals. There are a lot of benefits to having an LLC and an S Corp election. However, it really depends on the structure of your business and what makes sense for your business. So again, I do highly recommend talking to a legal professional. So the fourth stage of the process is the exciting one, where you will open your shop, and maybe you already did this in the name creation process. When you start your Etsy shop, this is when you will have to create your first listing. If you are doing a print-on-demand business, this is where you will upload a mock-up image of your first design that you created or your first product. You can also just upload a SVG file and just use that as a placeholder on your Etsy shop until you create that first product, if you decide to do a print-on-demand type of business model. Now, if you're not doing print-on-demand and you're doing a handmade business, maybe you already have that product created, you can upload that first listing as well with the product mock-up photo and all of the whistles and bells there. In the fifth stage of creating your Etsy shop, this is where you will start systemizing a lot of things. So if you are using a print-on-demand service, you will integrate your print-on-demand account. I do have a print-on-demand crash course going over how to integrate, how to open up your first Etsy shop, what you need to do for creating your first listing, and what settings you need to have with a Printify account if you decide to use print-on-demand or any other type of print-on-demand company. Again, links in the description below. That is a completely free beginner's guide course that I highly recommend watching. So with that being said, this is pretty much the final stage of your business, which is going to be figuring out those whistles and bells for your Etsy shop. So now that you have the name of your shop, you have the business and financial parts of your shop established, this is where you can really add on to your shop, fill out your privacy policy, your terms and conditions, create a clear and concise return and exchange policy. And this is where you can go into shop branding. And I do want to say that I have a shop brand kit. Again, links in the description below. So this shop brand kit that I've created is size charts, color charts, and logos for a new Etsy shop and Etsy business. It also has already done for you templates for banners. So I highly recommend checking that out as well. If you are looking to start your shop, you don't know how to start with branding, I have so many branding tutorials within that shop brand kit as well. That is one bonus of the brand kit, is you do get those tutorials on how to brand your first Etsy business. So guys, that is it for this video today. If you are looking to start an Etsy and print-on-demand business and you want more tutorials and help with starting up your first Etsy and print-on-demand shop, please check out the links down in the description below. I am running a free live monthly training, and also I have my free print-on-demand crash course link in the bio. Besides that, don't forget to stick around for that blooper reel, because if you're an OG on this channel, you know one's coming. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Hi, my name is Heather. I am very awkward. I am silly. I am here. I am here to answer your questions in the comment section as well. Also, this is my plant Steve. I referred to him a lot in the videos. Don't forget to comment below, "Hi, Steve," before you leave the video, and I will see you all in my next video here. To the second, there's a sole proprietorship. There is a sole that I can't speak. There are a thing. I'm gonna repeat this. Conclusions are the worst.